3.2. Let me turn my sound down. I know that sometimes the career mode's a grind, but you still want to do the career mode. I really don't like the science mode. That way you just perform all the science, but the money's unlimited. So I think you might start off with probably your space complex completely upgraded to the full shebang. So, but there is another way to start. And what I wanted to show you is just how to start a new game if you needed to speed it up. So let's just find a real click flag. Oh God, I hate to do anything with the country association because then someone will say something political. Oh boy, wouldn't that one get me in trouble? Actually, any of them are going to get you in trouble with someone if they're a real country and they have political connotations. So sometimes I like the parodies. I do like to use dead country flags like the Soviet Union because we were technically in the space race with the Soviet Union, the country that committed political suicide, and not exactly Russia. And oh, what a mess it was until they sorted it out. Here we go. We got a USSR Big Red Star. It's the best I can do. So, anyway, this is how you go and do this. You come in and you do your starting funds penalty. So you go fund penalty, 100%. You just turn that down to 10. Like that. And then you say starting science. And we're going to give ourselves, let's just say a nice low number of like, what's the first one? 5 and then 10. So we'll give ourselves 360, 70 points, okay? Right there, 70 points. And then you'll kind of see what I'm doing in a minute. Let's give the starting funds just like 60,000. And we also want our decline penalty on 0, and that's so we can check out missions. Now we're still going to get paid full. And if you want to up your science reward to 120, 200%. 200% science reward. All right, reputation. Might as well go 200. I never use my reputation anyway. But what reputation will do, and I know this for a fact, you will attract better astronauts into your Kerbal, the astronaut complex, so you can go in there and buy one. All right, now we'll take the reputation penalties. We're not afraid to fail. Anyway, so basically what I've done is just given myself a little bit of something. I don't want missing crews to be spawned. I don't want to allow quick loading. I could require myself to actually purchase points or purchase parts in the future instead of just researching them and having them at my disposal with just like a basic cost. I could actually have to have a major research cost and then have to buy them instead of just assuming I get it because I had the science points. Because usually it takes science and money and time. They don't make you take time. Alright, good one. Advanced. Kerbals level up immediately. Part G-force. I don't do part pressure limit in case I do submarines because it's only about 50 meters below and you crush. And the bottom of Kerbal Ocean is only like 300 meters at its deepest point. And anyway, it's just I want to go deeper. I want to see the bottom. And I can't. I don't know why. The parts just aren't made for submarines. So the pressure, they just don't. The only mod that allows you to have submarines just doesn't seem to understand itself. Or maybe I do. Maybe that means if your capsule sinks, you explode at a certain point, and that makes sense. Always allow action group. We can force ourselves to obey rules. We'll put this at 50. That makes it fun. If our Kerbals aren't cool, then they pass out. You know, We do have minimum standards, you know. Alright, part upgrades. Require signal. Plasma blackout. No extra ground stations. No. And space age. I'm not really sure what this is. I don't like Blizzy's toolbar, so I'm not going to use it. And that may be the one on the side anyway, so I may be making a mistake, but usually you can always change that. Anyway, so I shall accept and we shall start. Now, as you can see, we have started with 60,070 experience points. What I want to do is upgrade this first right off the bat without further ado and go inside and take all 4 missions. Alright. We didn't do that on the other one, right? And then you can do other upgrades if you like or need to. They're not expensive. So like that's 45 and that's going to be one of the high ones, but look at this. Like 5,000, bam. 22, I don't know, maybe. But let's do the 5,000 ones first. 7.5. 22. 7.5. 15, nah. We could. 45, so I could actually probably do one of these across here. I could do one more, but I don't need to. So we have 70 research points to spend right off the bat. So these are 5. That's going to be 10. We need them both. I sometimes, when I do this, make it a rule that you can't jump into the future. You have to go down line like this. This kind of keeps me from developing bad habits. And see, now I've knocked out the first tech tree when I probably could have... What was this one? 17? And that would have been 45, so 70, 24. Now, I would not have had the experience points to do anything like that. So, we did pretty good. Now we have 7. Now remember, we're getting 2 times the experience for everything we do. So here I put you on pause just for a second while I build a quick rocket. Alright, I'm going to do a time check real quick. We are 8 minutes into the video, and that's really good. Now, I'm not planning on escaping the orbiting the planet, but I am planning on getting very high in the atmosphere and taking all the scientific readings possible, both upper atmosphere and early space. And we did upgrade the astronaut complex, so we will do an EVA in space. And I'm still going to try to achieve orbit if possible. I'm going to take all the steps to get there. Well, without sacrificing my space is my first goal. My second goal is as close to orbit as possible. If that goal does not happen, then the thirdary goal will be to achieve the opposite side of the planet. Alright. So, these are all just, again, they're not game goals, they're in my brain. They're there to engage me, to keep it interesting. Kerbal, after you've been there, done that, it has a kind of a way to just go, it doesn't keep gamers interested, but people who are edutainment simulation specialists who are trying to achieve mastery and perfect something, they actually are good to go. So we have Jebediah. He cannot reset any of this stuff. We're just going to wait to get all this stuff later. We can make a little special trip out here if we need to grab some science. So just initially to take off, we'll just see what happens. Now looks like we're very high on our gravitational force meter. I'm going to back up so I can see myself run out of gas. I'm going to turn up the throttle halfway so when this runs out I'll be ready and I won't be in shock. I'm going to turn this on so I can watch my distance to actual apoapsis projections. Okay, I ran out of gas, so there we go. And I'm in the safety range, but I'm going to back off a little. Put it right there on 1.0. We're still flying straight and true. So the heavy air right here didn't grab us, and this heavy air, which is not as heavy as we go up, it keeps getting thinner. And this is a 1/10 mini universe replication of a planet Earth called Kerbal. The gravity's the same, but the size is different. So distance to space is different, all that stuff. So we're reaching 42, 45. I personally am going for 75. So when we reach that, now I can, if I can keep this number going up, I can turn my gas down. And now I'm getting better gas mileage, and if I turn onto that, I'm getting better gas mileage, and I've already reached 80,000 meters. I'm going into space. So before we get there, we have to do some science, a crew report. Let's transmit that one. We got a temperature scan, an atmospheric pressure scan, pressure goo. We're going to keep all that stuff. Before we hit 70, we're going to step out of the craft, and we're going to get a thing called an EVA report. That's in upper atmosphere. It's very hot. We did that too quick. So while I'm here, I'm going to take the data from that. I'm going to take the data from that, and I am going to reboard. All right, I need a mystery goo observation before 70,000 feet. I got it. Bingo. Okay, now once I hit 70,000 meters, once I hit that, I can do it all again. I'm not going to transmit that. I'll keep it. Temperature scan, atmospheric pressure scan, mystery goo scan. Keep. And then we go outside. We get an EVA report like that. And then while I'm out here floating in space on the way to 80, I collect the data. Remove data. Take data. Take data. That way, if our instrumentation blows up, remove data, then we will keep it. We have it inside the capsule. And now that we have reached our top and we're starting to go down, I said I had some goals. They're all failing now, so let's go ahead and bring them back. Wow. Okay, I gave it way too much gas, but I got us going kind of in the right direction. Sorry. I got us kind of going in the right direction, which, all right, we just ran out of gas anyway, so let's look and see where we're going to land. And it looks like we're going to shoot out and land into the ocean. We came up like this and turned this way. Where we're going this way, this is just an opposite of where we're going. And we would need that for a full orbit because eventually you come around in a circle and come back to the beginning. But before we can actually complete the circle, gravity's going to take us over and keep pulling us more directly towards the ground. So let's go deal with that. And what we want to do is get rid of this rocket right here. And we want to face this in a direction like that. And this is just because this is a teardrop shape, so if we did not have reaction wheel control, then it would just fall like this naturally, and I'm just going to turn it off and show you. So right now I have no control. This is purely the physics and the engineered design of the craft, falling with the heaviest part towards the center and the lightest part towards the top. Now I've already auto set my chute. Oh, there goes our gas tank. See it? It's going to hit the ground below us, or the water below us. I don't know if you can see it coming in right here. We should see a splash or an explosion. There was a splash right there. I don't know if you saw it. It's kind of hard to see on these videos, a little different than live. So as I'm falling and waiting for my parachute, I have a chance to do a temperature scan, atmospheric pressure. If I had electricity, I could take the current crew report I have and transmit it. Okay, so some reason it's not letting me extend the antenna. So this is a space crew report, so we definitely want to keep that. I saw big numbers on that, but I don't know how big. Okay, review report, transmit it. The antenna comes down. Let's just transmit that. Probably is going to use almost all our electricity. Look at that. We need a solar panel quick, or at least an extra battery so we don't run out. So that's done, and now we can take a new crew report. Alright, so now when all parachutes open, and this one has not, there it goes. Then, see, we have an EVA report for over Kerbal water. And that's extravehicular activity. That means outside the capsule, basically. Take the EVA report and just board. Alright, so I could do a mystery goo meat reading, but both of these are spent, and I need a scientist here to reset those and fix them back. So now what we can do is accelerate time. We're going to get a warning. Should have got a warning about accelerating time with certain vessels, especially ones of size, can disrupt the blah blah blah. Basically it rips them apart, makes them very unstable. They start bending like rubber bands. But you can see I'm coming close, and at about 100 or less I always back off and send it back into regular time, so it doesn't splash, it doesn't like impact the physical surface at an accelerated rate. Alright, now for some reason I'm in the water. I should be able to do everything else. So let's start with an EVA report. We're going to take data. Take data. Board. It won't let us do a crew report because we're still holding the one and we don't have enough electricity to send that one away. But what we can do is get temperature and atmospheric pressure. So the water owes us a crew report, a mystery goo, and flying over water owes us a mystery goo. If you can remember that. If you can't, we actually have it all written here. What you have achieved. Look, temperature scan, I splashed down in Kerbal's water. I don't know if they're giving you full credit for that, because you need to actually do this step, which is recover vessel. Then it'll put that as a permanent record in your science biome collection database. And that was a mod. It's called Science Here and Now is one, and the other one is called God, I have to look it up. Anyway, I don't do any mods that do voodoo. Very few parts, and never voodoo magic, and or anything that alters the physics. Sometimes they need to cheat a little bit by changing the physics parameters on their specific part. Anyway, since we had realism overhaul, we've changed the way we've done everything, and we can't do that crazy stuff anymore. And your flying lawnmowers don't fly anymore. But that's fine. But just back to. In our very first mission, we collected 229 science points. And that was just by giving ourselves, what, like a 70 part head start? Very first mission. So on our next mission, we're actually going to achieve orbit. And we probably also have been given some money. Look at that. So there's... I knew we had upgraded that. So there's no reason not to upgrade that for 15,000. 22. 22. 45. 10. So now everything's upgraded one level. The only thing we've done is one mission, and we have 174,000. We probably should go get this one. If you want to, you can upgrade that for 28,000. And now you just go inside and you can have anything you want, as many as you want. You don't have to worry about anything. So they don't really offer us anything but surveys, test, conduct surveys, test. The launch sites are all good and easy, and they don't expire. Test at launch site. That's what I'm looking for. Test at launch site. You can create a specific mission just to test at the launch site. You just put the part being tested on top of a command module, stick a Kerbal in it, go out, don't even leave the launch pad, just run the test and then bring the vessel back. If you want to fly it for fun while you're there, sure, no problem. But you don't have to. You can recover vessel off a launch pad because it was test at launch site experiment anyway. If you combine the two, just test both parts at the launch site. Then fly it or don't. But if you fly it, it'll cost you more. Okay, so I'm going to look at all these. Take a crew report, flight above, crew reports. I'll do that. Conduct temperature surveys on the surface, on the surface, on the surface. I love that. Get me a rover. Conduct temperature surveys. Flight below, flight below, flight below. Absolutely airplane stuff. Temperature surveys. Flight below, flight below, flight below. Lovely. Airplane stuff. Or rover. Either one. Just on the ground or below that. The ones that are above, it's hard to get there until we get further up the tech tree, because you're going to need 2 or 3 more stages to get high-flying supersonic aircraft. And then once you get that, even if you have to strap a rocket to it, you can shoot up to where they want you to, take your reading, and then, harmlessly fall back to Earth and gain control of your craft. But it's kind of like a Neil Armstrong thing where he took the X-15 into space and then found out that his control surfaces no longer worked. They already knew it, that it probably wasn't going to, but they just kind of wanted to see when it would happen and what would happen. And yep, they were right. Anyway, good science. Anticipate a failure and then fail right on schedule, correct? All right, focused atmospheric survey. Take a pressure reading in flight above. Ooh, Werner's escape. We almost have to do that for kicks. Take a pressured readings in flight above. So it'd be really nice if you could build a ship that was orbiting the Earth and maybe just circling either this way, or at a 45-degree angle, either way. It doesn't matter, running over these spots and collecting everything, having enough battery power with solar to transmit all the information back. Some of them you don't even transmit. You just take the reading. And then the other, where you get points for science, we don't get any additional science points. But it does accept the fact that you took the reading, and then you just throw the results away, basically. File them deep, and you still get credit for it. And you can see it. So they've got the mission parameters and science collection for research and improvement separated, but then sometimes they want you to take a temperature reading as a research, not as a research, but as a mission. So it registers different. And anyway, you'll see. You'll like, this does not make sense. I should get science points for this. All right. haul a Terrier liquid fuel engine into orbit. You can get caught up on these. So, see, they want me to get this 47,000. That's way out there. The reason I would want to do that is if I had a satellite halfway between, like in the fight. You know, we're going to do that, and we're going to put a Terrier on the back end of a satellite. All right, I don't know if I can preform a test. By the time I get back here, I can't even think that I have one left. So to me, that just seems like why. You'd have to bring a decoupler back just to test it after you landed. What? Never mind. I don't think they thought that one through. Or they're trying to trick us, make us go through hell and lose prestige and failure points. Anyway. Newly acquired capability. Go to the designated test site. Take a crew report at flight above. We got all kinds of that stuff going on, so we're just going to accept it. Now we're going to go back, and what I'm going to do is end the video here. This is part 2. I'm going to do a time check. I'm about to hit the 27-minute mark, which is just about perfect because that'll reset me into the next video. Anyway, thanks for watching, and I hope you learned how to speed the process through career mode by just a few minor alterations up front. Next phase, we're going to have fully developed everything. See you then. Thanks. Bye.